Experiencing that thrill of passion in your body is an indication that you're fulfilling a destiny you may have signed up for even before you merged into the world of being from non-being. The opening lines of the Old Testament convey that God and good are essentially synonymous. So know that when you feel good, that's akin to saying that you feel God. The presence of passion, or feeling good, is also the same as having God awakened within yourself. Think of this awakened presence as something you need to continuously pay attention to and nurture in order to prevent it from either going back to sleep or disappearing entirely. In other words, you must keep this passion ever present on the front burner of your life. I encourage you to spend as much energy as you can reaching out and helping other people. Recall Lao Tzu's message that your willingness to receive blessings is related to your ability to give them. I know that I feel the greatest passion when I'm in the process of serving others. Giving money to individuals to finance dreams that otherwise would go unfulfilled, or sending books and CDs to hospitals, prisons, libraries, and schools is always a thrill for me. Even taking my 92-year-old mom out for dinner, just the two of us, sends waves of pleasure down my spine. Giving to others is a great first step in finding your passion. Recently, for instance, I had the opportunity to spend a morning in a first-grade classroom. I was invited to read Unstoppable Me, one of the 4 children's books I've co-authored with Christina Tracy. Interacting with the children and hearing the questions they asked filled me with enthusiasm, but what I saw in their teacher, Miss Wimmer, was equally thrilling. Here's a woman living her passion every day through serving those first graders. She radiates her joy in nurturing their love of learning in all of her students, and she glows with excitement as she talks about each of the boys and girls whom she feels honored to teach. Her students simply adore this wonderful educator, and who can blame them? She takes them on after-school field trips, has them write their own illustrated books, plans elaborate graduation ceremonies, gets down on the floor with them to instruct them on a hands-on perspective. Every subject is taught from a creative point of view. Ms. Wimmer is also more than willing to spend her own money to provide experiences for the kids in her classroom who wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity due to budgetary considerations. There simply are no limits to what she'll do to give her students an ideal first-grade experience. This is passionate nurturing. Rather than using our days to just go through the motions and feel a sense of ennui, we all need to go through life as enthusiastically as Ms. Wimmer does. After all, how can we expect to find any passion if we're seemingly stuck in a dull world that typifies our daily existence? We must discover the joy and satisfaction that comes from feeding our passion. It's a much better idea than hauling out that tiresome excuse that life is boring. It may be helpful to think of your passion as the presence of the creative source inside you. Talk to this invisible yet tangible presence within and thank it for never abandoning you. Go for walks with it and even imagine holding hands with it. Ask it questions and listen to what it has to say, making mental notes of how it's directing you. Feel enormous gratitude for the reality of this presence and allow it to guide you in any way it wishes. Always remember that your passion is evidence of God within, and you can make it your own very private experience. You don't need to share your inner stirrings with anyone you feel might rain on your parade. Rather, make a promise to yourself that you'll pay attention to your passion, that you'll do at least one small thing daily to make it your reality. Even if you only do a silent meditation on keeping your dream alive, write one paragraph of the book you've been envisioning. Make one phone call exploring how to get into that business you fantasized about running, or put a few dollars aside to finance your future endeavors. Do it. Pay attention to your passion. Never ignore it. Talk to it, so that you don't have to drag out excuses or explain why it's always impossible for you to see and follow your own bliss. Keep in mind that your passion must be fed in order to survive. It will never let you down if you nurture it. How could it? It is God within you, and with God all things are possible, and no excuses are necessary. Here's a few suggestions for living a passion-filled life. First, do something every day to keep the awakened God within from falling back asleep. Remember that your feelings of excitement are the result of the way you think, and when your thoughts harmonize with source energy, you begin to feel your passion. Therefore, you must keep a constant watch on your mental activity. Maintain a journal to record what fires you up. The more you write, the more you invite passion to live within you. Go on the internet and view sites that talk about and promote ideas you feel enthusiastic about. Telephone or email someone out there who shares the same vision as you. Open a private bank account that contains seed money to fund a passion. Whatever you do, remind yourself that this is your passion, and you're feeding and nurturing it every day. As this becomes your habituated way of being, you'll see the universe cooperating and offering experiences that match your desires. And secondly, develop a sense of awe. that leads to the creation of passion by beginning to look at everything as though you're seeing it for the first time. Don't let the concept of boredom even creep into your thoughts. I've participated in thousands of interviews of all types over the past 4 decades. Frequently I've been asked, "Don't you find it boring to be asked the same questions over and over again?" My response, which comes from my heart, says, "I've never been interviewed by this person at this time on this subject under these circumstances before." Thus, every interview is a brand new, joyful endeavor, and this keeps my passion alive. I do the same kind of thinking when I'm about to give a lecture for the 10th time in 2 weeks. Each presentation before a live audience is a novel experience. Look at your entire life this way. Make love to your spouse like it's the very first time. Read to your children like it's the first time. Go for your daily run like it's the first time. Every new moment is a gift from the all-knowing Tao. So when you act as if each experience and moment is a fresh one, you'll feel the passion I'm attempting to convey in this book. And third, take a 5-minute time out today to repeat the following affirmation, quote, "I invite the presence of God to be with me in the form of my passion," unquote. This reminds you that every moment of excitement you feel is evidence that you have divine guidance in the moment. By holding on to it, you'll enter the excuses be gone zone. As Thomas Aquinas observed, quote, "True peace consists in not separating ourselves from the will of God," unquote.
Imagine for a moment that your entire life, every experience, every circumstance is but a reflection of your own consciousness. This is not mere philosophy, but the very fabric of our reality. You are not a powerless observer in this grand theater of life, but the author, director, and lead actor in your own divine play. The power to shape your reality lies not in some external force, but within the depths of your own imagination. Your thoughts, beliefs, and most importantly, the feelings you nurture within are the brushstrokes which you paint the masterpiece of your life. Consider the world around you, the chair you sit on, the room you occupy, the very device through which you're receiving this message. All of these were once mere ideas in someone's mind before they manifested into physical reality. If this is true for the objects around us, why should it not be true for the circumstances of our lives? The secret, my dear friends, lies in understanding that your imagination is not a flight of fancy of the very workshop of creation. When you imagine, you are engaging with the same creative power that brings forth universes. This power knows no limitations, no boundaries. It cares not for what society deems possible or impossible. It responds only to the conviction with which you hold an image in your mind. But here's where the 1% separate themselves from the rest. It's not enough to merely visualize or affirm your desires. The key lies in assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must enter the state of consciousness where your desire is not a future possibility, but a present fact. Pause for a moment and think of something you deep desire. Now, instead of yearning for it, longing for it, close your eyes and imagine how you would feel if that desire were already fulfilled. What would you see? How would you carry yourself? What thoughts would occupy your mind? This, my friends, is the art of living from the end. The outer world, with all its seeming solidity, is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner states. Change the inner and the outer must follow. This is not wishful thinking, but a law as immutable as gravity. Just as an acorn contains within it the blueprint of a mighty oak, your imagination contains the seeds of your future reality. But why, you may ask, do so few people experience this power in their lives? The answer is simple yet profound. Most live their lives reacting to the world around them, allowing external sources to dictate their internal state. They are like leaves in the wind, blown about by every change in their environment. The 1% who attract this understanding into their lives have made a fundamental shift. They have realized that they are not leaves in the wind, but the wind itself. They have taken control of their inner world, carefully cultivating the states of consciousness that align with their desires. This is not a path for the faint of heart. It requires courage to turn away from the evidence of your senses when they contradict your desired reality. It demands persistence to maintain your chosen state, even when the outer world has yet to catch up. But for those who commit to this practice, the rewards are beyond measure. Consider for a moment the implications of this truth. If your consciousness is the source of your reality, then there is nothing that is truly impossible for you. The only limits that exist are those you accept in your mind. Your age, your background, your current circumstances, none of these have any power over you unless you grant it to them through your belief. The 1% who grasp this truth understand that they are not bound by their past, nor are they limited by their present. They know that in any given moment they have the power to choose a new state of consciousness, and in doing so, to set in motion a new future. But let me be clear, this is not about positive thinking or mere wishful dreaming. This is about a fundamental reimagining of who you are and what you're capable of. It's about recognizing your true identity as a divine, creative being, temporarily expressing yourself in human form. When you truly internalize this understanding, your entire approach to life shifts. No longer do you beg and plead with an external God for your desires to be fulfilled. Instead, you recognize that the God power resides within you, waiting to be expressed through your imagination and faith. Faith in this context is not blind belief in an unseen future. It is the unwavering conviction in the reality of your imagined state. When you have true faith, you don't hope for your desire to manifest. You know with absolute certainty that it is already yours in the realm of imagination, which is the true substance of things. This knowing, this unshakable faith is what sets the 1% apart. They understand that the outer world may take time to reflect their new inner reality, but they refuse to be swayed by temporary appearances. They hold fast to their chosen state, knowing that the outer must inevitably conform to the inner. But here's a crucial point that many miss. This power is not given to you for mere material gain or ego gratification. While there's nothing inherently wrong with desiring material abundance or success, the true purpose of this power is far greater. It is given to you as a means of expressing your divine nature, of bringing heaven to earth, of creating a world that reflects the highest truth of who you are. The 1% who attract this understanding use their power responsibly. They understand that as they elevate their own consciousness, they elevate the consciousness of the entire world. Their desires align not just with their personal good, but with the good of all. Now, you might be wondering if this power is available to everyone. Why do only 1% seem to attract and embody this truth? The answer lies in the willingness to question everything you've been taught about the nature of reality. It requires the courage to step outside the collective mindset that sees humans as limited, powerless beings at the mercy of external forces. To join this 1%, you must be willing to test this law in your own life. Start with something small. Choose a state of consciousness that you would experience if a minor desire were fulfilled. Perhaps it's the feeling of having an unexpected sum of money or receiving good news. Enter that state fully, feel the relief, the joy, the gratitude you would feel if it were true. Now, here's the crucial part. Maintain that state regardless of outer appearances. This is where most people falter. They may imagine for a moment, but at the first sign that their outer world hasn't changed, they revert to their old state of consciousness. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of past states of consciousness. It takes time for the seed you've planted in your imagination to bear fruit in the physical world. The 1% understand this delay between the inner cause and the outer effect. They do not waver in their faith, no matter how long it takes for their desire to manifest. They know that doubt is an affirmation of absence, and they refuse to give power to what they do not wish to experience. As you begin to live from this new understanding, you'll find that your entire perception of the world shifts. What once seemed like obstacles become opportunities. What appeared as limitations reveal themselves as stepping stones to greater expansion. You begin to see the hand of providence in every experience guiding you towards the fulfillment of your desires. But remember, this is not about escaping or denying your current reality. It's about transforming it from within. The 1% who embody this truth do not ignore the challenges in their lives or in the world around them. Instead, they use their imaginative power to envision and create solutions. They become agents of positive change, not through external force, but through the power of their consciousness. As you continue on this path, you may find that your desires themselves begin to evolve. What once seemed important may fall away, replaced by deeper, more meaningful aspirations. This, too, is part of the journey. As you align more fully with your divine nature, your desires naturally come into harmony with the highest good for all. Now let's address a common misconception. Some may hear this message and think it means they can simply imagine their desires and then sit back, waiting for the universe to deliver. This is a misunderstanding of the law. While it's true that the outer action is not the cause of your manifestation, inspired action is often part of the bridge of events that leads to your desires' fulfillment. The key is that this action comes from a place of knowing, not from a place of trying to make something happen. When you truly live in a state of the wish fulfilled, you naturally think, speak, and act in ways that are in harmony with that state. These inspired actions are effortless and joyful, arising from your new state of being. Another crucial point that the 1% understand is the importance of persistence. Wayne Dyer often spoke of the importance of falling asleep in the state of the wish fulfilled. As you drift off to sleep, impress upon your subconscious mind the feeling of your desire accomplished. Your subconscious mind, which knows no limitations and accepts as true whatever you impress upon it, will then work tirelessly to bring about the conditions necessary for the fulfillment of the desire. This practice of sleeping in the state is not a one-time event, but a way of life for those who have attracted this understanding. They know that their last waking thoughts shape their tomorrows, and they use this knowledge to consciously create their future. But what about when doubts arise, when the outer world seems to contradict your inner knowing? This is where the real test comes and where the 1% truly distinguish themselves. Instead of allowing doubts to take root, they recognize them as opportunities to reaffirm their faith. They understand that doubt is simply faith in the opposite direction, and they consciously choose to place their faith in their desired outcome. Remember, the power of your subconscious mind is neutral. It does not judge your thoughts or imaginings as good or bad, possible or impossible. It simply accepts what you impress upon it as true and works to bring it into manifestation. This is why it's crucial to guard the door of your mind, to be vigilant about the states of consciousness you entertain. The 1% who attract and embody this truth understand that every moment is an opportunity to choose their state of consciousness. They do not allow circumstances or other people to dictate their mood or their expectations. They know that they're the operant power in their lives, and they use this power consciously and consistently. Now, you might be wondering about the role of others in this process. If your consciousness creates your reality, what about the other people in your life? This is where many stumble, but the 1% understand a profound truth. Everyone in your world is you pushed out. Every person you encounter is reflecting back to you your own states of consciousness. This understanding brings with it a great responsibility. It means that if you want to change your relationships or how others treat you, you must first change your concept of yourself and of them. As you begin to see yourself as worthy of love, respect, and success, the world around you will reflect this back to you. But this is not about controlling others or bending them to your will. It's about recognizing that the entire world is yourself pushed out. And as you change your inner world, your perception and experience of the outer world naturally shifts. This understanding also eliminates the need for competition or comparison. The 1% who grasp this truth know that there is no need to compete for limited resources or opportunities. They understand that consciousness is the only true cause, and that by aligning their consciousness with their desires, they open themselves up to infinite possibilities. Another key aspect that sets the 1% apart is their understanding of the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume a state and persist in it, it must become your reality. This goes beyond mere positive thinking or affirmations. It's about fully embodying the state of consciousness of your wish fulfilled. When you assume a state, you think from it, not of it. You don't think about being wealthy. You think from the state of wealth. You don't affirm that you will be healthy. You assume the state of perfect health and think, feel, and act from that state. This subtle shift makes all the difference. When you think of something, you reinforce its absence in your life. When you think from it, you affirm its presence. The 1% who attract this understanding make this shift in all areas of their lives. But what about when circumstances seem to contradict your assumed state? This is where many falter, but not the 1%. They understand that circumstances are effects, not causes. They know that if persisting their assumed states, circumstances must change to align with it. This persistence in the face of contrary evidence is what truly sets the 1% apart. They do not allow the outer world to dictate their inner state. Instead, they know that by maintaining their desired state of consciousness, they are causing the outer world to reshape itself, to match their inner reality. Another crucial understanding that the 1% embody is the concept of everyone is you pushed out. This means that every person in your reality is a reflection of your consciousness. The way people treat you, the opportunities that come your way, even the seemingly random events in your life, all are reflections of your states of consciousness. This understanding brings with it a profound sense of responsibility. It means that if you want to change how others treat you, you must first change your concept of yourself and of them. As you begin to see yourself as worthy of love, respect, and success, the world around you will reflect this back to you. But this is not about controlling others or bending them to your will. It's about recognizing that the entire world is yourself pushed out. And as you change your inner world, your perception and experience of the outer world naturally shifts. The 1% who grasp this truth also understand the power of revision. This technique taught by Wayne Dyer allows you to go back into your past in your imagination and read events to align with your desired reality. By doing so, you change the trajectory of your life from that point forward. Revision is not about denying what happened, but about changing your memory of it. As you revise past events in your imagination, you are literally rewriting your subconscious beliefs and expectations, which in turn shapes your present and future experiences. The 1% use revision not just for major life events, but as a daily practice. At the end of each day, they review the events and revise anything that didn't align with their desired reality. This constant realignment of their inner world ensures that their outer world continues to reflect their highest vision for themselves. Another key understanding that sets the 1% apart is their grasp of the law of bridge of incidence. This law states that once you have impressed your desire upon your subconscious mind, a series of events will be set in motion to bring about its fulfillment. These events may not always make sense to your logical mind, but they are all part of the bridge leading to your desire's manifestation. The 1% understand that their job is not to figure out how their desire will manifest, but to maintain the state of the wish fulfilled and allow the bridge of incidents to unfold naturally. They trust in the wisdom of their subconscious mind to bring about the perfect circumstances for their desire's fulfillment. This understanding frees them from the need to manipulate or control external circumstances. They know that by maintaining their desired state of consciousness, they are causing the perfect sequence of events to unfold in their lives. But what about when things seem to go wrong? When obstacles appear or setbacks occur? This is where the 1% truly shine. They understand that what appears as a setback is often a setup for something even better. They see every experience as an opportunity to reaffirm their faith and deepen their understanding of the law. The 1% also grasp the importance of detachment. This doesn't mean they don't care about their desires, but rather that they are not anxiously attached to specific outcomes. They understand that their imagination creates instantly in the fourth-dimensional world of consciousness, and that the three-dimensional world of form takes time to catch up. This detachment allows them to live in a state of calm expectancy. They don't waste energy worrying about when or how their desire will manifest. They simply know that it is done in consciousness, and they live from that knowing. Another crucial aspect that sets the 1% apart is their understanding of the importance of self-concept. They know that how they see themselves is the foundation upon which their entire reality is built. If they want to change their outer world, they must first change their concept of themselves. This goes beyond mere positive self-talk or affirmations. It's about fundamentally redefining who they are at the core of their being. They see themselves as divine beings capable of creating any reality they choose. This elevated self-concept naturally leads to elevated experiences in their outer world. The 1% also understand the power of their inner conversations. They know that the thoughts they entertain, the mental conversations they engage in, are shaping their reality. They are vigilant about the quality of their inner dialogue, ensuring that it aligns with their desired reality. They don't indulge in mental arguments or rehearse negative scenarios. Instead, they consciously direct their inner conversations towards what they want to experience. They know that these inner conversations are the blueprint from which their outer reality is constructed. Another key understanding that sets the 1% apart is their grasp of the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume a state and persist in it, it must become your reality. The 1% don't just understand this intellectually, they live it daily. They know that to manifest their desires, they must assume the state of consciousness of already having what they want. They don't hope for their desires to come true. They live as if they are already true. This shift in consciousness is the key to their manifesting power. The 1% also understand the importance of feeling. They know that it's not enough to intellectually affirm their desires or visualize them. They must feel the reality of their desire fulfilled. This feeling is the secret that brings their imaginal acts to life. They cultivate the feeling of the wish fulfilled in every aspect of their lives. When they pray from the state of the wish fulfilled. They understand that feeling is the secret, the catalyst that brings their imaginal acts to life. The 1% grasp the power of persistence. They don't waver when circumstances contradict their desire of reality. They know that the outer world reflects past states of consciousness and persist in their new state. Knowing the outer must conform to the inner, they understand revision, the ability to rewrite past events in imagination, changing subconscious beliefs and shaping present and future experiences. They practice this daily, constantly reeling in their inner world. The law of bridge of incidence is another key understanding. Once a desire is impressed upon the subconscious, a series of events unfolds to manifest it. The 1% trust this process, maintaining their desired state and allowing events to unfold naturally. Detachment is crucial. The 1% are not anxiously attached to outcomes. They live in calm expectancy, knowing their desire is fulfilled in consciousness and the physical world will catch up. Self-concept is foundational. The 1% see themselves as divine beings capable of creating any reality. This elevated self-concept leads to elevated experiences. Inner conversations shape reality. The 1% consciously direct their inner dialogue to align with their desired reality, avoiding negative mental scenarios. The law of assumption is lived daily. The 1% assume the state of already having what they want, living as if their desires are already true. They understand everyone as you pushed out. Every person reflects their consciousness. This brings responsibility. Changing how others treat you requires changing yourself, concept, and perception of them. The 1% recognize the power of their attention. They focus on what they want to experience, knowing that energy flows where attention goes. They practice living in the end, experiencing the feeling of their desire fulfilled now, not waiting for external circumstances to change. Gratitude is a powerful force for the 1%. They give thanks for their desires as if already fulfilled, amplifying the feeling of having received. They understand the importance of relaxation in manifesting. Tension and anxiety block the natural flow of manifestation. The 1% cultivate a relaxed, confident state. Imagination is seen as the real substance of the external world. The 1% treat their imaginal acts as more real than the temporary facts of life. They grasp the concept of infinite states. Any state of consciousness is available to them, and they choose consciously which states to occupy. The 1% understand the power of I am. They carefully watch their I am statements, knowing these define their reality. They practice the art of forgiveness, releasing all resentment and negative emotions that could block their manifestations. The Sabbath is honored. The 1% know when to cease effort and rest in the knowledge that it is done. They understand the power of silence. After impressing their desire on their subconscious, they don't discuss it unnecessarily, allowing it to gestate. The 1% grasp the concept everyone as you pushed out on a global scale. They know that by changing themselves, they change the world. They practice mental diets, carefully monitoring and controlling the thoughts they entertain. The power of decision is fully grasped. The 1% know that making a true decision, cutting off all other possibilities, is a powerful act of creation. They understand the importance of self-love. Loving themselves unconditionally opens the floodgates for all other good to enter their lives. The 1% practice presence. They lie fully in the now, knowing it's the only point of power. They grasp the concept of divine timing. While they know their desire is fulfilled in consciousness, they allow the physical manifestation to unfold in its perfect time. The power of words is fully understood. The 1% carefully choose their words, knowing they are decrees that shape their reality. They practice the art of allowing. Instead of trying to force manifestations, they allow them to unfold naturally. The 1% understand the importance of alignment. They ensure their thoughts, feelings, words, and actions all align with their desired reality. They grasp the concept of infinite parallel realities. They know they can shift to any reality by assuming the appropriate state. The power of belief is fully embraced. The 1% know that what they believe shapes their reality, and they consciously choose empowering beliefs. They understand the importance of receptivity. They keep themselves open to receiving their good, knowing they are worthy of their desires. The 1% practice detachment from unwanted circumstances. They don't give power to what they don't want by fighting against it. They grasp the concept of collapse of time. In their imagination, they can experience future events now, collapsing time and speeding up manifestations. The power of their subconscious mind is fully utilized. The 1% know how to impress their desires upon their subconscious for effortless manifestation. They understand the importance of letting go. After impressing their desire, they release it, trusting in the perfect unfolding. The 1% practice the art of surrender. They surrender their limited personal will to the greater wisdom of their divine self. They grasp the concept of unity consciousness. They know they are one with all that is, and this understanding informs their manifesting practice. The power of their attention is fully realized. The 1% place their attention only on what they want to grow in their lives. They understand the importance of momentum. Small successes build confidence and speed up future manifestations. The 1% practice the art of listening. They listen to their intuition, knowing it guides them towards the fulfillment of their desires. They grasp the concept of circular causation. They know their outer world reflects their inner state, which in turn reinforces their outer world. The power of their imagination is fully embraced. The 1% use their imagination deliberately to create the life they desire. They understand the importance of emotional mastery. They cultivate the emotions that align with their desired reality. The 1% practice the art of giving. They give what they wish to receive, knowing the universe operates on the law of reciprocity. They grasp the concept of quantum leaps. They know they can make dramatic shifts in their reality by making equally dramatic shifts in their consciousness. The power of their voice is fully realized. The 1% use their voice to declare their desired reality into existence. They understand the importance of self-trust. They trust in their ability to create their reality and in the perfection of the universal laws. The 1% practice the art of celebration. They celebrate their desires as already fulfilled, amplifying the feeling of having received. They grasp the concept of divine order. They trust in the perfect unfolding of events, even when things seem to go awry. The power of their identity is fully embraced. The 1% consciously choose and embody the identity that aligns with their desired reality. They understand the importance of persistence. They persist in their desired state, no matter how long it takes for the outer world to catch up. The 1% practice the art of detached observation. They observe their thoughts and emotions without judgment, choosing consciously which to entertain. They grasp the concept of infinite abundance. They know that in the realm of consciousness, there are no limits or scarcity. The power of their focus is fully realized. The 1% focus exclusively on what they want, withdrawing attention from what they don't want. They understand the importance of self-awareness. They constantly monitor their states of consciousness, choosing deliberately which states to occupy. The 1% practice the art of mental rehearsal. They regularly rehearse their desired scenarios in their mind, imprinting them on their subconscious. They grasp the concept of simultaneous time. They know all possible realities exist now, and they can shift between them at will. The power of their assumptions is fully embraced. The 1% carefully watch their assumptions, knowing these form the foundation of their reality. They understand the importance of self-mastery. They work constantly to master their thoughts, emotions, and reactions. The 1% practice the art of non-reaction. They don't react to unwanted circumstances, knowing reaction gives them power. They grasp the concept of infinite potential. They know they have the potential to be or have anything they can imagine. The power of their self-talk is fully realized. The 1% consciously direct their self-talk to align with their desired reality. They understand the importance of energy management. They cultivate and maintain high vibrational states that align with their desires. The 1% practice the art of visualization. They create vivid, detailed mental images of their desired reality, engaging all their senses. They grasp the concept of divine timing. They trust in the perfect unfolding of events, knowing their desire will manifest at the right time. The power of their beliefs is fully embraced. The 1% consciously choose beliefs that support their desired reality, releasing limiting beliefs. They understand the importance of alignment. They ensure that thoughts, feelings, words, and actions all align with their desired state. The 1% practice the art of allowing. They allow their manifestations to unfold naturally without force or struggle. They grasp the concept of infinite possibilities. They know that any outcome is possible, and they choose consciously which possibilities to entertain. The power of their expectation is fully realized. The 1% expect good things to happen, knowing their expectations shape their experiences. They understand the importance of receptivity. They keep themselves open to receiving their good, clearing any blocks to receptivity. The 1% practice the art of surrender. They surrender their limited personal will to the greater wisdom of their divine self. They grasp the concept of unique consciousness. They know they are one with all that is, and this understanding informs their manifesting practice. The power of their attention is fully embraced. The 1% place their attention only on what they want to grow in their lives. They understand the importance of momentum. Small successes build confidence and speed up future manifestations. The 1% practice the art of listening. They listen to their intuition, knowing it guides them towards the fulfillment of their desire. They grasp the concept of circular causation. They know their outer world reflects their inner state, which in turn reinforces their outer world. The power of their imagination is fully realized. The 1% use their imagination deliberately to create the life they desire. They understand the importance of emotional mastery. They cultivate the emotions that align with their desire of reality. The 1% practice the art of giving. They give what they wish to receive, knowing the universe operates on the law of reciprocity. They grasp the concept of quantum leaps. They know they can make dramatic shifts in their reality by making equally dramatic shifts in their consciousness. The power of their voice is fully embraced. The 1% use their voice to declare their desire of reality into existence. They understand the importance of self-trust. They trust in their ability to create their reality and in the perfection of the universal laws. The 1% practice the art of celebration. They celebrate their desires as already fulfilled, amplifying the feeling of having received. They grasp the concept of divine order. They trust in the perfect unfolding of events, even when things seem to go awry. The power of their identity is fully realized. The 1% consciously choose and embody the identity that aligns with their desire of reality. They understand the importance of persistence. They persist in their desired state no matter how long it takes to live up to authority. The 1% practice the art of detached observation. They observe their thoughts and emotions without judgment, choosing consciously which to entertain. They grasp the concept of infinite abundance. They know that in the realm of consciousness there are no limits or scarcity. The power of their focus is fully embraced. The 1% focus exclusively on what they want, withdrawing attention from what they don't want. They understand the importance of self-awareness. They constantly monitor their states of consciousness, choosing deliberately which states to occupy. The 1% practice the art of mental rehearsal. They regularly rehearse their desired scenarios in their mind, imprinting them on their subconscious. They grasp the concept of simultaneous time. They know all possible realities exist now, and they can shift between them at will. The power of their assumptions is fully realized. The 1% carefully watch their assumptions, knowing these form the foundation of their reality. They understand the importance of self-mastery. They work constantly to master their thoughts, emotions, and reactions. The 1% practice the art of non-reaction. They don't react to unwanted circumstances, knowing reaction gives them power. They grasp the concept of infinite potential. They know they have the potential to be, do, or have anything they can imagine. The power of their self-talk is fully embraced. The 1% consciously direct their self-talk to align with their desired reality. They understand the importance of energy management. They cultivate and maintain high vibrational states that align with their desires. The 1% practice the art of visualization. They create vivid, detailed mental images of their desired reality, engaging all their senses. They grasp the concept of divine timing. They trust in the perfect unfolding of events, knowing their desire will manifest at the right time. The power of their beliefs is fully realized. The 1% consciously choose beliefs that support their desired reality, releasing limiting beliefs. They understand the importance of alignment. They ensure their thoughts, feelings, words, and actions all align with their desired state. The 1% practice the art of allowing. They allow their manifestations to unfold naturally without force or struggle. They grasp the concept of infinite possibilities. They know that any outcome is possible, and they choose consciously which possibilities to entertain. The power of their expectation is fully embraced. The 1% expect good things to happen, knowing their expectations shape their experiences. They understand the importance of receptivity. They keep themselves open to receiving their good, clearing any blocks to receptivity. The 1% practice the art of surrender. They surrender their limited personal will to the greater wisdom of their divine self. They grasp the concept of unity consciousness. They know they are one with all that is, and this understanding informs their manifesting practice. The power of their attention is fully realized. The 1% place their attention only on what they want to grow in their lives. They understand the importance of momentum. Small successes build confidence and speed up future manifestations. The 1% practice the art of listening. They listen to their intuition, knowing it guides them towards the fulfillment of their desires. They grasp the concept of circular causation. They know their outer world reflects their inner state, which in turn reinforces their outer world. The power of their imagination is fully embraced. The 1% use their imagination deliberately to create the life they desire. They understand the importance of emotional mastery. They cultivate the emotions that align with their desired reality. The 1% practice the art of giving. They give what they wish to receive, knowing the universe operates on the law of reciprocity. They grasp the concept of quantum leaps. They know they can make dramatic shifts in their reality by making equal, bloody quick shifts in their consciousness. The power of their voice is fully realized. The 1% use their voice to declare their desired reality into existence. They understand the importance of self-trust. They trust in their ability to create their reality and in the perfection of the universal laws. The 1% practice the art of celebration. They celebrate their desires as already fulfilled, amplifying the feeling of having received. They grasp the concept of divine order. They trust in the perfect unfolding of events, even when things seem to go awry. The power of their identity is fully embraced. The 1% consciously choose and embody the identity that aligns with their desired reality. They understand the importance of persistence. They persist in their desired state, no matter how long it takes for the outer world to catch up. The 1% practice the art of detached observation. They observe their thoughts and emotions without judgment, choosing consciously which to entertain. They grasp the concept of infinite abundance. They know that in the realm of consciousness, there are no limits or scarcity. The power of their focus is fully realized. The 1% focus exclusively on what they want, withdrawing attention from what they don't want. They understand the importance of self-awareness. They constantly monitor their states of consciousness, choosing deliberately which states to occupy. The 1% practice the art of mental rehearsal. They regularly rehearse their desired scenarios in their mind, imprinting them on their subconscious. They grasp the concept of simultaneous time. They know all possible realities exist now, and they can shift between them at will. The power of their assumptions is fully embraced. The 1% carefully watch their assumptions, knowing these form the foundation of their reality. They understand the importance of self-mastery. They work constantly to master their thoughts, emotions, and reactions. The 1% practice the art of non-reaction. They don't react to unwanted circumstances. Knowing reaction gives them power. They grasp the concept of infinite potential. They know they have the potential to be, do, or have anything they can imagine. The power of their self-talk is fully realized. The 1% consciously direct their self-talk to align with their desired reality. They understand the importance of energy management. They cultivate and maintain high vibrational states that align with their desires. The 1% practice the art of visualization. They create vivid, detailed mental images of their desired reality, engaging all their senses. They grasp the concept of divine timing. They trust in the perfect unfolding of events, knowing their desire will manifest at the right time. The power of their beliefs is fully realized. The 1% consciously choose beliefs that support their desired reality, releasing limiting beliefs. They understand the importance of alignment. They ensure their thoughts, feelings, words, and actions all align with their desired state. The 1% practice the art of allowing. They allow their manifestations to unfold naturally, without force or struggle. They grasp the concept of infinite possibilities. They know that any outcome is possible, and they choose consciously which possibilities to entertain. I will share with you the most effective technique I have ever discovered, a practice so transformative that when repeated faithfully, it rewrites the very fabric of your reality. The power lies not in the complexity of the method, but in the persistence and conviction with which you apply it. What I am about to tell you is not theory but law. It is as immutable as gravity is serving as the rising sun. When you truly grasp this principle and apply it with unwavering faith, your world will shift with such precision that you will stand in awe of your own creative power. The technique is this. Take your desire, your wish fulfilled, and repeat it to yourself as a present fact. Not as something that will be, but as something that already is. 100 times each day, affirm your desire as an accomplished fact. But the crucial detail that most miss, it is not the mere repetition of words that but the feeling of naturalness that accompanies your declaration. Let me explain the profound mechanics at work here. Your consciousness, your I am, is God Himself individualized. When you declare a thing to be true while occupying the state of your wish fulfilled, you are engaging the very power that created the universe. This is not positive thinking. This is the activation of universal law. Consider this truth. Everything you now accept as reality was once merely a thought and imagination. Your current circumstances, your relationships, your position in life, all were first conceived in imagination before they materialized in your world. The outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner assumptions. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily, you are not engaging in mere affirmation. You are programming the depths of your subconscious mind. You are impressing upon the substance of creation itself the pattern of your desired reality. This is why the feeling is crucial. Each repetition must be accompanied by the feeling of naturalness, the feeling that your desire is already a fact. Let me share with you a secret about this practice that few understand. The number 100 is not arbitrary. It represents completeness, fullness, the totality of conviction. When you repeat your desire 100 times, you are symbolically declaring its completeness in your consciousness. You are filling every corner of your mind with the reality of your wish fulfilled. But remember this vital truth. The words themselves are merely vessels. They carry the feeling, the consciousness of your desire fulfilled. As you repeat your statement, you must feel the reality of it. If your desire is for financial abundance, you must feel the security, the freedom, the joy of that abundance. If your desire is for a loving relationship, you must feel the warmth, the companionship, the deep connection of that relationship. Many of you ask, but Wayne, how can I feel something that isn't yet true? Here is the supreme secret. In the realm of consciousness, there is no yet. There is only an although. When you enter the state of consciousness where your desire dwells, you are actually entering the reality where it already exists. Your physical reality has no choice but to conform to this new state of consciousness. The universe you see is not outside of you, it is within you. It is your own wonderful human imagination externalized. When you repeat your desire 100 times with feeling, you are literally rearranging the universe because you are rearranging your consciousness, and your consciousness is the universe. Let me give you a practical example. Suppose you desire a particular position in your company. Instead of saying, I want that position, or I will get that position, you would declare, I am so grateful to be in my perfect position doing work I love. Repeat this 100 times daily, and this is crucial, feel the satisfaction, the fulfillment, the joy of actually occupying that position. As you do this, something remarkable begins to happen. The people around you will begin to respond differently. Opportunities will appear that weren't there before. Circumstances will erase themselves in ways that support your new reality. This isn't coincidence or magic, it is law. Remember, the outer world has no choice but to reflect your inner convictions. Just as your reflection in a mirror must move as you move, your external reality must shift to match your internal state. This is why persistent repetition with feeling is so powerful. It creates an unshakable conviction in your consciousness. Now, some of you might be thinking, but I've tried affirmations before, and they didn't work. The difference here lies in understanding that you are not trying to convince yourself of something. You are instead occupying a state of consciousness where your desire is already fulfilled. The repetition is not to convince, but to saturate your consciousness with the reality of your wish fulfilled. Think of it this way: when you wake up in the morning, you don't need to convince yourself that you are who you are. You simply know it. This is the kind of naturalness you must achieve with your desire. Through repeated occupation of the state of your wish fulfilled, it becomes just as natural as your own name. The universe responds not to your words, but to your state of consciousness. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily with feeling, you are systematically altering your state of consciousness. You are literally becoming the person who has what you desire. This is why the universe must rearrange itself. It is simply conforming to who you have become. Let me share another vital aspect of this practice. As you repeat your desire, you must exclude all contrary evidence from your physical senses. If your bank account shows lack while you are declaring abundance, you must remain faithful to your inner conviction rather than the external fact. The external will change, it must change, but only after you have firmly established the new reality in your consciousness. This requires a level of mental discipline that few are willing to exercise. It is easy to accept what your senses show you. It takes spiritual maturity to remain faithful to your inner conviction, despite contrary evidence. But this is precisely what separates those who manifest their desires from those who remain trapped in their current circumstances. Remember, every time you repeat your desire with feeling, you are dropping a seed into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Just as a farmer doesn't dig up his seeds every day to check their progress, you must not constantly check the external world for evidence of your manifestation. Plant your seed through repetition, water it with feeling, and trust in the law. The law operates with mathematical precision. Just as 2 + 2 must equal 4, your consciousness may conceive through repetition must produce its equivalent in your outer world. This is not theory, this is law. I have tested it countless times in my own life and in the lives of thousands who have applied these principles. Consider this profound truth. Your consciousness is the only reality. Everything you see in the outer world is simply consciousness objectified. When you understand this, you realize that by changing your consciousness through persistent repetition of your desire, you are literally changing the only reality there is. This is why the universe must rearrange itself. It has no choice. It is not separate from you. It is you pushed out. Every person, every circumstance, every event in your world is simply your consciousness made visible. Change your consciousness through this practice of repetition with feeling, and you change everything. Now let me address a question that often arises: how long must I continue this practice? The answer is until your desire feels natural, until it feels more real to you than the current facts of your life. For some, this might happen quickly. For others, it might take longer. The time required depends on your ability to remain faithful to your inner conviction. Remember, time is a human construct. In the realm of consciousness, where all creation takes place, there is no time. There is only the intensity of your conviction. This is why some desires manifest quickly, while others take longer. The speed of manifestation is directly proportional to the completeness of your acceptance of your desire as fact. This is where the power of repeating your desire 100 times daily becomes evident. Each repetition, when done with feeling, deepens your conviction. It strengthens your acceptance of your desire as fact. It makes your new reality more and more natural to you until it becomes impossible for you to accept anything less. Let me share another crucial aspect of this practice. As you repeat your desire, you must also repeat the feeling of gratitude for its fulfillment. Gratitude is not merely a positive emotion. It is the acceptance of something as yours. When you feel grateful for something, you are acknowledging its presence in your life. This is why I often teach that the feeling of gratitude is one of the highest spiritual frequencies you can maintain. When you combine your repetition with genuine gratitude, you are not only declaring your desire as fact, you are accepting it as already yours. This combination is unbeatable in its manifestational power. Now let's address another vital point. As you practice this technique, you must guard your mental diet with the same care that you would guard your physical diet if you were training for an athletic event. Every thought that crosses your mind either supports or contradicts your desire. This is why the repetition must be consistent and why it must be done 100 times. The number 100 creates a momentum in your consciousness that helps override contrary thoughts and feelings. It builds a foundation of conviction so strong that casual negative thoughts cannot shake it. This is the power of persistence in consciousness. Consider how a river creates a canyon. It's not through occasional powerful surges, but through constant, persistent flow. This is how you must approach your practice. Each repetition is like a drop of water, seemingly insignificant on its own, but powerful enough to reshape reality when applied consistently. Your consciousness is like a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds you plant in it. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily with feeling, you are planting and nurturing the seeds of your future reality. Just as a garden doesn't spring up overnight, your manifestation may not appear instantly, but if you remain faithful to your practice, it must appear. This brings us to another crucial understanding. The law works with perfect precision, but it works according to its own timing. Your role is not to determine when or how your desire will manifest. Your role is simply to persist in the consciousness of your wish, fulfilled through faithful repetition. Many fail in their manifestations because they try to dictate the how and when of their desires' fulfillment. This is a mistake. The how and when belong to the law. Your task is simply to persist in your new state of consciousness through regular, feeling-based repetition of your desire. Remember, the universe knows far more than your conscious mind about how to bring about your desire. It has access to infinite possibilities, infinite channels through which your good can come to you. By trying to dictate the how and when, you actually limit the channels through which your desire can manifest. This is why I emphasize feeling over forcing. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily with genuine feeling, you are allowing the infinite intelligence of the universe to arrange the perfect circumstances for your manifestation. You are surrendering the how and when while maintaining absolute faith in the what. Let me share something profound about this practice that few understand. When you repeat your desire with feeling, you are actually experiencing your future in the present moment. You are collapsing time. You are bringing the future into the now. This is why the universe must rearrange itself. You are creating a new pattern in the face to face time itself. If you think about this every moment of your life, you are in a particular state of consciousness. This state is made up of your beliefs, assumptions, and feelings about yourself and your world. When you deliberately enter and maintain a new state through conscious repetition of your desire, you are literally stepping into a new dimension of experience. This is not metaphorical. It is literal. Your consciousness is the substance of reality itself. When you change your consciousness through persistent repetition with feeling, you are literally rearranging the substance from which all things are made. This is why results must follow. It is law. Now, let me address something that often confuses people about this practice. Some believe that merely repeating words 100 times will bring about their desire. This is not the case. The words are simply tools to help you maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It is the feeling that creates the reality. We think of it this way when you are in love. You don't need to convince yourself that you're in love. You simply feel it. This is the kind of naturalness you must achieve with your desire. The repetition is designed to help you maintain this feeling consistently until it becomes your dominant state of consciousness. This is why I emphasize that each repetition must be accompanied by feeling. Without feeling, words are empty shells. But when you combine repetition with genuine feeling, you are engaging the creative power of the universe itself. You are literally speaking your new reality into existence. Consider the biblical phrase, "In the beginning was the Word." This refers not to mere verbal expression, but to the creative power of consciousness itself. When you repeat your desire 100 times with feeling, you are engaging this same creative power. You are speaking your world into existence. This brings us to another crucial point, the importance of persistence. Some of you might begin this practice with enthusiasm, but abandon it when results don't appear immediately. This is a grave mistake. Remember, you are reprogramming your entire consciousness. This takes persistence and patience. Think of it like learning a new language. At first, it feels awkward and unnatural, but with persistent practice, it becomes second nature. The same is true with this practice. At first, your new state of consciousness might feel forced or fake, but with persistent repetition, it becomes your natural state of being. This is why the number 100 is so powerful. It represents complete dedication to your new state of consciousness. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily, you are declaring to the universe that you are absolutely committed to your new reality. This level of commitment always brings results. Remember, the universe is not testing you. It is simply responding to your consciousness with mathematical precision. When you maintain a consistent state of consciousness through persistent repetition with feeling, the universe has no choice but to reflect that consciousness back to you in physical form. Let me share another vital truth about this practice. As you repeat your desire, you must also be willing to let go of your old self-concept. You cannot hold on to who you were and simultaneously become who you desire to be. This is why the repetition must be accompanied by a willingness to change. Many of you hold on to your old stories, your old limitations, while trying to create something new. This is like trying to fill a cup that's already full. You must be willing to empty your cup, to let go of your old self-concept, to make room for your new reality. This is where the power of 100 repetitions becomes especially significant. Each repetition is like a chisel, slowly but surely reshaping your self-concept. With persistence, your new self-concept becomes more real to you than your old limitations. Consider this: every great achievement in human history began with a change in consciousness. The Wright brothers had to believe in the possibility of human flight before they could manifest it. Edison had to maintain the consciousness of success through thousands of failed attempts before manifesting the light bulb. Your desire, whatever it may be, follows the same law. Through persistent repetition with feeling, you are creating the consciousness of your desire fulfilled. And just as surely as the Wright brothers and Edison succeeded, your desire must manifest when you maintain the proper state of consciousness. This brings us to another crucial understanding. the importance of maintaining your new state of consciousness, even when your senses deny it. This is where most people fail. They allow current circumstances to pull them out of their desired state of consciousness. Remember, your senses show you the world as it was, not as it will be. They show you the effects of your past thoughts and feelings, not the reality you are creating through current practice. This is why you must persist in your new state, regardless of appearance. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily with feeling, you are creating a new cause. The effect must follow, it is law. But you must give the law time to work. You must maintain your faith in the unseen reality you are creating through your consciousness. Think of it like planting a garden. You don't plant seeds one day and dig them up the next to see if they're growing. You trust in the law of growth. You know that if you've planted the seeds and provided the proper conditions, growth must occur. The same is true with your desire. Each repetition of your desire with feeling is like watering and nurturing your seed. You don't need to know how it will grow. You don't need to figure out the process. Your only task is to maintain the proper mental and emotional state through persistent repetition. This brings us to another vital truth: the importance of living from your desire rather than for it. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily with feeling, you are not trying to get something. You are acknowledging what is already yours in consciousness. This is a subtle but crucial distinction. Most people practice manifestation techniques from a state of wanting or needing. This actually pushes their desire away because want and needing can fly lack. When you live from your desire, when you repeat it as an accomplished fact, you are creating from a state of fulfillment. Consider this: when you have something, you don't spend time wanting it or figuring out how to get it. You simply enjoy having it. This is the state of consciousness you must thus achieve through your repetition practice. You must repeat your desire from a state of having not wanting. This is why feeling is so crucial to this practice. When you combine repetition with the feeling of fulfillment, you are creating a new pattern in the universal substance. The feeling makes it real in consciousness, and what is real in consciousness must become real in experience. Let me tell you something profound about this practice that few truly understand. When you repeat your desire 100 times daily, you are actually engaged in a sacred ritual. You are performing what the ancients called true prayer. Prayer is not begging or pleading. It is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Each repetition, when done with feeling, is like a drop of water filling the cup of your consciousness. When the cup is full, when your consciousness is saturated with the feeling of your wish fulfilled, manifestation must follow. This is not magic, this is law. Consider how a mother feels about her child. She doesn't need to convince herself of her love. She doesn't need to repeat affirmations about being a mother. She simply is a mother, and this state of consciousness creates her experience of motherhood. This is the kind of naturalness you must achieve with your desire. Through 100 daily repetitions with feeling, you are becoming the person who already has what you desire. You are not trying to get something. You are acknowledging what is already yours in the reality of consciousness. Remember this vital truth. The external world has no power to prevent your desire from manifesting when you maintain the proper state of consciousness. Your circumstances, no matter how challenging they may appear, are simply shadows of past thinking. They have no power except that which you give them through your attention. When you consistently repeat your desire 100 times daily with feeling, you are withdrawing power from your current circumstances and investing it in your new reality. You are literally shifting the balance of power in your consciousness. This is why persistence is so crucial. Each repetition builds momentum in your consciousness. Each feeling-filled declaration of your desire, as fact, moves you closer to the point where your new reality must externalize itself. Think of it like learning to play a musical instrument. At first it feels awkward and unnatural, but with persistent practice it becomes second nature. The same is true with this practice. At first, your new state of consciousness might feel forced, but with faithful repetition, it becomes your natural state of being. Let me share one final truth about this practice. The power lies not in the words themselves, but in the state of consciousness they help you achieve and maintain. The words are like a ladder helping you reach a higher level of consciousness. Once you reach that level, you must live there. This is why I say to repeat your desire 100 times daily. This repetition helps you maintain your new state of consciousness until it becomes your natural state of being. And when this happens, when your desired state becomes your natural state, the universe has no choice but to conform to your consciousness. Remember, you are not trying to convince the universe to give you something. You are declaring what is already yours in consciousness. Through persistent repetition, with feeling, you are making your desire so real in consciousness that it must manifest in experience. This is the law of consciousness, and it never fails. What you accept as true in consciousness must manifest in your world. This is why the universe rearranges itself to accommodate your picture of reality, because your consciousness is reality. Practice this technique faithfully. Repeat your desire 100 times daily with genuine feeling. Live from the state of your wish fulfilled. Do this and watch as the universe rearranges itself to match your new state of consciousness. For this is the law, and the law never fails.